Hello and welcome to class today. We're going to be discussing author's purpose. So today's objective, I will identify and explain the author's purpose of a text. We will identify and justify the author's purpose in our text. So what is author's purpose? It is basically the reason why an author writes a particular text. So anytime someone picks up a pencil and they just start writing, they have a reason why they're writing that. They have a reason why they're investing their time into creating a text, a brochure. They're writing an episode that's going to be on TV. They're writing a letter. They're writing any, text or passage, anything that they're taking their time to do. There's a reason why they're doing it. Much like you and I have a reason why we decide to do things we do. We have a purpose. So what are your choices when you're trying to decide author's purpose? Well, an author writes for three different reasons: to persuade, to inform, to entertain. Now, in class, we often refer to it as PIE, P-I-E, because we want you to have an acronym to remember it. So the author's purpose goes with PIE: persuade, inform, entertain. So here's your anchor chart. And before I go over it, if you would like to pause the video for a moment, jot these things down in your reader's journal, that would be awesome. Okay, so now that you have this all written down, remember the author's purpose is his or her reason for writing a text. Knowing the purpose will help you recognize what the author's message is, if they're trying to teach you a lesson, or if they're just trying to give you information, or if they simply just want to make you laugh. So looking at persuade, when the author wants you to think or act in a certain way, they also will maybe ask you to do something. So if you are reading a brochure or a pamphlet about recycling, obviously the author wants to persuade you to recycle when at the end they'll say, have you ever considered recycling? Something like that. They're going to present a question. They're going to ask you to join them in a fight, or to go up against something. They're going to ask you to help them attain something or help them achieve something. There will be a persuasion in there for you to do something with them. So when you're being informed, it's when the author wants to share information about a topic. They don't want you to do anything. And it's not just for entertainment, but they inform you because they want to teach you. They want to learn. They want you to learn something. So my purpose for presenting this video and creating this slide is to inform you about author's purpose. So my purpose is inform. The last purpose for an author would be to entertain. When the author just simply wants you to enjoy a story. They just simply want to make you laugh or distract you or just give you something else to do. So the thing with a story and author's purpose, it can be two. A story can entertain you, but it can also inform you about something. A pamphlet about saving the planet can inform you about how the planet needs to be, we need to recycle to help the planet and stuff, but it's also going to persuade you to try to recycle. So a story or a pamphlet or whatever you're reading, the text that you're reading, can have multiple authors' purposes. That's when you need to supply your justification for what you chose. So if you decide to use persuade, you would say the author's purpose is to persuade because the author asked me to recycle with them. Or the author's purpose is to inform because I learned about recycling and the author didn't ask me to help them. So when you choose your author's purpose, you also need to justify it. So how can you figure out the author's purpose? Well, first think about the genre. Is it fiction or nonfiction? A lot of times your fiction is going to be to entertain. but that's not 100% of the time. So think about the genre: fiction, nonfiction. Is it poetry? Is it a biography? Is it a realistic fiction? Um, realistic, historical, whatever. And then ask questions about what you read and find your answers. Are you learning something? Are you being asked to do something? Those will help guide you to the correct author's purpose, whether to persuade, inform, or entertain. Remember, an author can have more than one reason for writing a text. Also, remember that authors will choose their words or arrange their ideas in ways that help them achieve their purpose. So look for clues that will help you decide what their purpose would be, and then use those clues to support what you've chosen as your author's purpose. After viewing this video, be sure to read the story, follow the directions that your teacher has placed in the task box, and then submit your completed assignment. Thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful afternoon.